Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to the Most High Power, in the name of His only begotten Son, call Halal Yam, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations to you sincere Akim out there spreading His truth throughout the four corners of the globe in righteousness and in sincerity. Most High willing, this video be edifying. All right, want to go straight into it. Going to the story, all right, the history of the destruction of Bel and the dragon. And as I read, I'm just going to be bringing up precepts that come to mind as I read the story. So bear with me. So in the Apocrypha, Bel and the Dragon is one chapter comprised of 42 verses. So I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, and King Astyages was gathered to his fathers, and Cyrus of Persia received his kingdom. And Daniel conversed with the king and was honored above all his friends. Now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. So during this time, they were putting a lot of expenses towards worshiping Bel during these were the Babylonians that they had that idol. All right, it says every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. Verse 4. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But Daniel worshipped his own God. And the king said unto him, why does not thou worship Bel? All right. Now, when you go into the law, right, or commanded not to worship any other things. I'm just going to bring out the precept, backing that up. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20. I'm going to start at 1. It says, and Yahweh spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth, which is plain. Okay, so it's already understood that Daniel, believing in the one true power, Yahweh, all right, that he would not worship anything. But the king did not understand this at the time. Verse 5, it says, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. All right. So him not worshiping Bel was him keeping the commandments and showing that he loved the Most High Power, Yahweh. Okay. Back in Bel and the Dragon, the 5th verse. Who answered and said, because I may not worship idols. Who answered? So Daniel answered and said, who answered and said, because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living power, who have created the heaven and the earth, and have sovereignty over all flesh. Then said the king unto him, thinkest thou not that Bel is a living God? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled. So this is the funny part too, because Daniel's like, come on, bro, like you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Because Daniel had the understanding that there is no other power but Yahweh, all right? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did never eat or drink anything. So the king was wroth and called for his priests and said unto them, If ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die. But if ye can certify me, if you can certify me that Bel devoureth them, then Daniel shall die, for he hath spoken blasphemy against Bel. And Daniel said unto the king, let it be according to thy word. So he said, let it be according to what you said out your mouth. All right? Because Daniel already knew what time it was. And what a lot of scriptures come to mind following those verses and understanding that this is now life or death. You know, you got scriptures like fight for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee, right? You got scriptures like Deuteronomy. I'll bring it out. Precept must be upon precept. Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, verse 39. See now that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and make it alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So right here in the law is letting you know that there is no other God. All right. And he's the one who kill, also make alive. He's the one who wound and heal. There's nothing, no other power with him. Okay. I'm just going to bring a couple of more scriptures. All right. Go to the book of Hebrews. Starting with Hebrews, the 10th chapter, verse 35. All right. It says, cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward, because we are going to be rewarded. All right. Everyone's going to be rewarded, rather it be good or if it be bad. All right. Now that reward, okay, of him standing up for righteousness' sake and not bowing down to other gods, he would be receiving a good recompense or a good reward. Okay. Verse 36, for ye have need of patience, that after ye have done the will of the Most High, ye may receive the promise. Okay. So one thing, that the will of the Most High, that part of that will is not to be serving these other gods. So the king said he spoke blasphemy, but what Daniel did was spoke truth. Okay. Also want to jump to Hebrews, the 6th chapter, 6 and 1. Salakia, 6 and 11. Hebrews 6 and 11. And we desire that every one of you do show the same diligence to the full assurance of hope unto the end. Okay. So here it is. His life is on the line. So you have to have that same energy as if your life wasn't on the line. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's on the line, you know, that your faith is gonna, you know, you have the full assurance in your belief of Yahweh Shem Shai, even unto death. And this is an example of that right here. Okay. I want to get 1 Thessalonians, the 5th. First Thessalonians chapter 5, we start straight at verse 21. It says, prove all things, hold fast which is good. Okay. And there's only one good, and Yahweh Shai, our master, who the word and called Jesus Christ, said it too. He says only one good but the Father. So there's only one good, hold fast what is true. The knowledge of wisdom, the understanding of our power, the wisdom and knowledge that was in our understanding that was given onto us by our power. Okay. So you hold fast onto that, what is true. Verse 22, prove all things, verse 22, abstain from all appearance of evil, which the worshiping of idols is evil. Okay. And there's zero tolerance for all that, you know. So I'm gonna go back into Bel and the dragon, starting at the 10th verse. Now the priests of Bel were 70. Okay. 70, a score is 20. Okay. 70 is 60, and 10, so it's 70. Okay. Beside their wives and children, and the king went with Daniel into the temple of Bel. So Bel's priests, and lo, we go out, but thou, O king, set on the meat and make ready the wine, and shut the door fast, and seal it with thine own signet. And tomorrow, when thou comest in, if thou findest not that Bel have eaten up all, we will suffer death, or else Daniel that speaketh falsely against us. And they little regarded it, for under table for under the table they had made a private entrance, whereby they entered and continually and consumed those things. So now they had under the table, right, a private door to go to where all these things were, so they can continue, they can eat these things, man. They can consume them, the meat, the drink, all that. Verse 14. So when they were gone forth, the king set meats before Bel. Now Daniel had commanded his servants to bring ashes, and those they strewed throughout all the temple in the presence of the king alone. Then went they out and shut the door and sealed it with the king's signet, and so departed. Now in the night came the priests with their wives and children, as they were wont to do, and did eat and drink up all. And in the morning betime, the king arose, and Daniel with him. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, Yeah, O king, they be whole. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great art thou, O Bel, and with thee is no deceit at all. Then Daniel laughed. So Daniel laughing now, like, yo, this dude, he really think that this thing ate all his food, man. Said, then Daniel laughed and held the king that he should not go in, and said, Behold, now the pavement, and mark well those footsteps are these. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry, because he knew that he saw all these footsteps from all these people from in the temple, because Daniel had laid down those ashes. So he now know that Bel didn't eat it, but they ate them, and basically had him deceived, worshiping something that wasn't that had no power, the power that they said it had, you know. Verse 21. And took the priests with their wives and children, who showed him the private doors, where they came in, and consumed such things as were on the table. Therefore the king slew them, and delivered Bel into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. All right. And I just want to bring something out too, because this is the reason why we in the conditions that we're in today, man. And a reoccurring thing when you go and read the story of Judges, you know, Israel following these other gods, following these idols, and as well as the reason why we're here in Americas today and scatter abroad in the land of our captivity, and we were sold unto the nations. And this is a quick scripture in Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath. Ye were delivered unto the enemies, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to Yahweh. So that's that right there is letting you know that we aren't supposed to be worshiping these things, supposed to be destroying them. Okay. Want to bring a quick, matter of fact, I'll bring a quick precept. Deuteronomy the 7th, 7 and 25. Okay. The graven images of their gods shall be burned with fire, that thou shalt not desire the silver or gold that is on them, nor take it unto thee, lest thou be snared therein. For it is in an abomination to Yahweh thy power. Neither shalt thou bring an abomination into thine house, lest thou be a cursed thing like it. But thou shalt utterly detest it, and thou shalt utterly abhor it, for it is a cursed thing. So now talking about these idols, these things of witchcraft, these things of idolatry, these things of paraphernalia of all wickedness. We're supposed to cast them out, burn them, and also not to bring them in our house. Thus saith the scriptures in Deuteronomy 7:25. Okay, a quick precept. 12:3. That's right. This is in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 3. And ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire, and ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. Ye shall do not so unto ye shall not do so unto Yahweh your God. So all these other pillars and places of worship to these other gods and their graven images, we're actually supposed to be burning them, breaking down the pillars, and destroying them. All right, there's zero tolerance for worshiping other gods and idols and devils and all this other stuff, and in the nation of Israel. All right, in the faith of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, zero tolerance. I'm gonna continue in Bel and the Dragon, verse 22. Therefore the king slew them and delivered Bel into Daniel's power, who destroyed him and his temple. That was the precept. That's what he did according to the law right there. Verse 23. And in that same place there was a great dragon which they of Babylon worship. And the king said unto Daniel, wilt thou also say that this is of brass? Lo, he liveth, he eateth, and drinketh. Thou canst not say that he is no living God. Therefore, worship him. And we already brought out those precepts earlier that we're not to worship any other power other than Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay. Quick precept though, follow to back that up as well. Deuteronomy chapter, because the king is telling Daniel to worship this idol, right? So going to Deuteronomy, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to 13 and I'm gonna start at 6. It says, if thy brother, thy son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thine own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, thou nor thy fathers, namely of the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or afar off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth, thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thine eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. So this is what's supposed to have happened unto the king. But now this is the time of captivity. Also is an example of how we're supposed to conduct ourselves here in captivity, because of course Daniel cannot kill the king, right? But he did not consent unto him to worship these other gods, right? Verse 9. But thou shalt surely kill him, thine hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people, and thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy God. So you're supposed to take it as an offense that people bring in these other, trying to entice you and make you consent to worship these other gods, all right? And put them, and you're supposed to take, like, yo, you trying to take me away from my power? The same power that took my ancestors out of Egypt, the same power that put these, that gave us this sign as a wonder to let us know if we are under curses or under blessings, if the nation was keeping the law, statute, commandments, all right? They give us these law, statute, commandments for our good always. You're trying to take us away from that? You're supposed to kill them according to the ancient, well, according to the law and how we dealt things in the ancient world, okay? Verse 10. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy power, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. All right. And that's plain. So I'm going to go back into the history of Bel and the dragon, verse 25. Then said Daniel unto the king, I will worship thy Lord thy God, for he is the living God. And we brought out those scriptures proving that. But give me leave, O king, and I shall slay this dragon without sword or staff. The king said, I give thee leave. Then Daniel took pitch and fat and hair, and did seeth them together, and made lumps thereof. This he put in the dragon's mouth, and so the dragon burst in sunder. And Daniel said, Lo, these are the gods ye worship. Said, come on, man. I ain't even used no sword or no staff, man. And it just burst into pieces. He said, this your God? This like in what was the movie? Black Panther, when he was beating T'Challa up, like, yo, is this your king? Is this your king? That's what Daniel did. He blew up this dragon, was like, and he already destroyed Bel. So he's like, these are the gods you worship? Come on, man. So verse 28, it says, when they of Babylon heard that, they took great indignation and conspired against the king. So now they're like, yo, bro, he destroying our gods, and the king is just allowing it. So they all conspired against the king, saying, the king is become a Jew, and he hath destroyed Bel, he hath slain the dragon, and put the priest to death. So they came to the king and said, deliver us Daniel, or else we will destroy thee and thine house. Now when the king saw that they pressed him sore, being constrained, he delivered Daniel unto them, who cast him into the lions' den, where he was 6 days. And in the den there were 7 lions, and they had given them every day 2 carcasses and 2 sheep, which then were not given to them, to the intent they might devour Daniel. So they stopped feeding the lions, so when Daniel went into the den, they would devour him. Verse 33. Now there was a prophet called Habakkuk, who had made pottage, and had broken bread in a bowl, and was going into the field for to bring it to the reapers. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, go carry the dinner that thou hast into Babylon unto Daniel, who is in the lion's den. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. The angel of the Lord took him by the crown. This is also, matter of fact, we're just going to get it. Quick precept that, matter of fact, I already quoted that scripture in Sirach, all right? Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you. But there's another scripture to let you know that, the Most High got you, man. All you got to do is have that faith. The Most High got you, man. There's nothing to be scared of, nothing to be afraid of. No men, none of that. This is Isaiah chapter 35, verse 3. Strengthen ye the weak hands, and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, be strong. Fear not. Behold, your power will come with vengeance, even Yahweh with the recompense. He will come and save you. All right? And that's plain, man. You got to have that faith, man. Where your faith is built up, like, all you got to do is stay true, stay clean, keep these law, statute, commandments, and do them. All right? So, back in the Bel and the Dragon, all right, 34th verse. But the angel of the Lord said unto Habakkuk, verse 35. And Habakkuk said, Lord, I never saw Babylon, neither do I know where the den is. Then the angel of the Lord took him by the crown, and bare him by the hair of his head, and through the vehemency of his spirit, set him in Babylon over the den. And Habakkuk cried, saying, O Daniel, take the dinner which Yahweh hath sent thee. And Daniel said, Thou hast remembered me, O Yahweh, neither hast thou forsaken them that seek thee and love thee. And that's Sirach, the 2nd chapter, man. I'm gonna bring that out. Sirach, chapter 2. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Not in the middle, but the last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. All right. I'm gonna keep reading because the point is a little. Look at the generation. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reading. It says, ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in the fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that call upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. And that right there is exactly what happened in this scenario right here with Daniel and the history of Bel and the dragon. So this is back in Bel and the dragon, verse 39. So Daniel arose and did eat, and the angel of the Lord set Habakkuk in his own place again immediately. So the angel took him, all right? Took him back to where he was. Verse 40, upon the 7th day, the king went to bewail Daniel, and when he came to the den, he looked in, and behold, Daniel was sitting. Then cried the king with a loud voice, saying, great art thou, O Lord, all right, O Yahweh, power of Daniel, and there is none other besides thee. So now I made the king a believer. He don't believe all those false gods and saw them get destroyed, and then saw the God, the Yahweh, all right, the power of Daniel, all right, deliver him in this time of affliction. Verse 42, and he drew him out and cast those that were the cause of his destruction into the den, and they were devoured in a moment before his face. There you go, man. When the when a man's ways please the Most High, make his enemies to even be at peace with him. Thus saith the scriptures, not verbatim. So that peace that they received was death. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so furious, inflamed, and enraged at the fact that he was destroying the false gods, that's what they received. And all you got to do, all right, is to fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, no matter what. No matter if the odds against you, stacked up against you, is someone consent unto you to do wickedness, or to hide wickedness, or to not hearken unto wisdom of the scriptures, all right? The level of playing field, which is for understanding and doctrine or exhortation to reprove someone, all right? You just continue to stay faithful in your Lord, in the Most High, all right? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, your God, your power, you know what I'm saying? If he be with you, will deliver you in the time of your affliction. But Most High willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And Shalom.